Marc Márquez is back in the spotlight, but this time it isn't because of a victory or one of his trademark spectacular overtakes. In a surprising move, Ducati instructed the multiple-time world champion to play it safe during the Assen sprint race, a decision that immediately raised questions among fans. What major risk is Marc Márquez currently facing that convinced the team to sacrifice a potential podium finish just to protect him? Is there something far more serious behind this strategy? Let's discuss. The MotoGP Assen sprint race got underway with intense action as soon as the lights went out. Riders immediately engaged in fierce battles for the front positions. Starting from 7th on the grid, Marc Márquez once again demonstrated impressive pace. He found himself in several close fights with his rivals, including his own Ducati teammate Francesco Bagnaia, as they battled for a place inside the top 6. However, there was one noticeable difference in Márquez's riding style this time around. The Spanish rider is usually known for his aggressive approach, fearless late braking, and willingness to take enormous risks whenever an overtaking opportunity presents itself. At Assen, though, that trademark style was almost nowhere to be seen. Every time an opportunity to attack emerged, Márquez chose to hold back instead. Rather than forcing risky overtakes, he focused on maintaining a consistent race pace and avoiding dangerous maneuvers. Unsurprisingly, many fans began wondering what had caused such a dramatic change in his racing approach. After the sprint race, Ducati Course's sporting director finally provided an explanation that made the situation much clearer. According to Ducati, the sprint race result was never their primary objective for the weekend. Instead, the team chose to prioritise its long-term goals over taking unnecessary risks for a relatively small points reward in Saturday's short race. Ducati's biggest priority right now is ensuring that Marc Márquez remains in peak physical condition. The Spanish rider is still continuing his recovery after surgery and several injuries he suffered over the past few seasons. Although his performance has steadily improved, Ducati has no intention of making decisions that could increase the risk of another injury. With Assen's extremely fast layout, flowing corners, and relentless demands on rider concentration, the risk of crashing rises significantly if a rider loses focus or pushes beyond the limits of either the motorcycle or their physical condition. That is precisely why Ducati opted for a far more conservative strategy. The team instructed Marc Márquez to avoid overly aggressive battles with his rivals, stay away from extreme late braking that could put additional strain on his body, carefully manage his physical condition throughout the race, conserve as much energy as possible, and ensure he remained in ideal shape for Sunday's Grand Prix. According to Ducati, this approach offers a much greater reward than chasing a stronger sprint race result, which carries fewer championship points than the main Grand Prix. The team believes that the real opportunity for a major result will come on Sunday, when all of its preparation and strategy can be fully put into action. Ducati's decision was far from arbitrary. During an earlier practice session, Marc Márquez suffered a crash. Although he escaped without any serious injuries, the incident served as another reminder that Assen remains one of the most demanding and unforgiving circuits on the MotoGP calendar. Its incredibly high-speed nature means that even the smallest mistake can quickly lead to a major accident. That reality convinced Ducati to adopt a much more cautious approach in order to protect its star rider. Interestingly, Marc Márquez himself had already hinted at the challenge he was facing before the weekend even began. He admitted that Assen is currently one of the toughest circuits for him physically. According to Márquez, the track requires absolute concentration because of its extremely high average speed, and even a minor mistake can have serious consequences, especially when a rider has not yet returned to 100% physical fitness. Looking back now, his comments seem to confirm that Ducati's conservative strategy had been planned from the very beginning. Although Marc Márquez finished only 7th, his performance cannot be judged solely by the final result. Throughout the sprint race, the Ducati rider continued to show competitive pace, consistently matching the speed of the midfield group and repeatedly closing the gap to the top 5. On several occasions, Márquez even appeared to have the opportunity to gain more positions if he had been willing to take greater risks. However, every time an overtaking opportunity presented itself, Márquez chose a more cautious approach, following the instructions given by the Ducati team. He avoided aggressive battles to minimize the risk of an incident that could further affect his physical condition. This suggests that his 7th-place finish was likely not an accurate reflection of either his true potential or the performance of the Ducati machine this weekend. Many analysts believe Ducati deliberately chose to keep something in reserve during the sprint race, allowing Márquez to conserve his strength and maximize his chances in the main Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Aprilia rider Jorge Martin arrived at Assen with renewed confidence. After enduring 2 difficult race weekends, Aprilia has shown significant progress since the opening practice sessions. The RSGP has looked much more stable, especially through the fast corners that define the Assen circuit. That improvement has convinced Martin that Aprilia once again has a genuine chance to fight for victory. According to him, the Dutch circuit suits the characteristics of the Aprilia package far better than the previous 2 tracks. He even admitted that he arrived this weekend with much greater confidence. Despite his optimism, Martin insisted that the biggest threat remains Marc Márquez. In his view, neither practice sessions nor the sprint race necessarily reveal Márquez's true pace. He believes the Ducati rider possesses an extraordinary ability to read a race, manage tyre wear, and choose the perfect moment to launch an attack. Márquez's years of experience often allow him to become significantly stronger once the Grand Prix begins. For that reason, Martin emphasised that Aprilia cannot afford to relax for even a moment. A small mistake in strategy, tyre selection, or the race start could provide the perfect opportunity for Márquez to seize control of the race. Now, all eyes are on the 2026 Dutch MotoGP Grand Prix. The biggest unanswered question is whether Ducati will stick with its conservative strategy or finally give Marc Márquez complete freedom to attack at full pace. If his physical condition continues to improve and Ducati removes all strategic restrictions, Márquez could very well return to his very best form and emerge as one of the leading favourites to win at Assen. However, if rider safety remains Ducati's top priority, the team will likely continue with a more cautious approach to protect Márquez's chances in the 2026 MotoGP World Championship title fight. Whatever strategy Ducati ultimately chooses, one thing is already clear. The team is not focused solely on winning a single race. Instead, it is protecting its most valuable asset in pursuit of a much bigger goal, keeping its World Championship hopes alive all the way to the end of the season. If Ducati finally removes all strategic restrictions for the main race, do you think Marc Márquez has what it takes to win the Dutch MotoGP at Assen? Or should Ducati continue playing it safe to protect his World Championship campaign? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.